Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where the orchard of wisdom shows are at your fingertips. It ignites your soul, your heart, your spirit, your mind, and your body with illumination from people who have made the journey before you. They're here now to help you on your journey, on your path of self-discovery. We are funded by you, the audience, and the people we interview. If you wish to support us, please go to selfdiscoverymedia.com and press on our Fund Action button. Anything is appreciated. We'd like you to sit back and enjoy the shows. Here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Choose Positive Living right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest today is Cynthia Jones. We're going to be talking about kickstarting your personal journey with 5 steps to a resilience guide. She is the royalty mindset coach, and it's important for her, for you to live your desire. It's difficult to lead yourself into life, but she supports career-driven entrepreneurs in design of that life desire, that intuition that will never lead you wrong, and that is unique to only you, tapping into your own beautiful source of wisdom. She's pursuing her passion for helping high-achieving women develop their mindsets and become royalty in their own lives. She is the founder of the Royalty Mindset Coaching, an organization that supports high-achieving women to get out of their own way. Big one. We're going to be talking about that today, and ignite the desire they have within them so they can live life with purpose and passion. Her aim is to inspire you. You have everything you need right now to start and aspire. Drawing inspirations from her story, she's able to share with you the steps to success. She's a cyber security professional and has been working in the industry for 14 years. I bet she has some tales there. She comes from a humble beginning. She started her career out as a cashier in the retail industry. After 10 years of hard work, she became the assistant manager and the goal of being a district manager. With the urge to accomplish more and make more impact, she changed her career to IT by working on the help desk and acquiring 6 certifications in system administration. She moved into information assurance and then, determined to succeed, she arrived at a 6-figure salary and got her dream job. She had everything she'd always dreamt of, but there was an urge to help women to grow financially and succeed at whatever their hearts desire. She was able to adapt and change and go beyond what was expected, and she believes that with the right mindset, you have the ability to achieve your goal. She's dedicated her life to helping others who feel stuck and want to get out of that comfort zone. Oh, that comfort zone. If only people realize it's really uncomfortable, isn't it? Welcome to the show, Cynthia.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a saying too, that even when it's uncomfortable, you become comfortable with that uncomfortability. So either you're comfortable in it or you're uncomfortable in it. But the thing about it is you become comfortable with either or.
Yes, that's the thing. And is it serving you or is it holding you back? Right. And, are we being our own worst enemy because our dialogue towards ourselves, are we holding ourselves back because we don't believe we can achieve? And we really can become our own detriment or on our own worst enemy, can't we? Because of this chatter or life's expectations of what you should be by a certain age, or you should be doing this and you must be doing that. And if we buy into that, I think that's where the downfall starts happening.
Yeah, I do too. And that's like almost the story of my life, of what I was supposed to do, how I was supposed to do it. And then once I was able to accomplish, why was I still not happy about it? Because the story says that if I will be happy. And it was at that point that I learned that nothing, no one, something could bring me happiness, that my happiness came from within. And daily I made that determination if I was going to be happy or not, or if I was going to let circumstances, situations, people make me unhappy. So the choice is yours.
Oh boy, is it. And I think, people talk about leaps and bounds. And I think the first leap is taking the first step. right? Realizing, you know what, I don't care if I have six figures. I don't care if I miss popularity or this, that, or that. I'm not happy. So what am I going to do about it?
And I think that's become the misconception. A lot of people want to take leaps. A lot of people want to go from the beginning to the end and miss all the middle part. And I remember I was reading a book by John Maxwell, and in there he was saying how there was this gentleman and he was really eager and young, and he called it the law of process. And he was young and he was ready to go. And then he just told him, slow down. There's a whole process that you have to go to that you're trying to skip. And I do say that you can maneuver and do certain things, and you can skip to the end, but you'll find yourself back to the beginning because you have to go through the process. There's so much that you have to learn. There's so much that you have to gain in that process. And a lot of us do not like being in the process because a lot of times the process is not pretty. It's not, glamorous, but it's what you need to go through to get to that destination. So one of the things I've been telling myself here lately is that enjoy where I am right now, because a lot of times, even still, I want to get to the end. I want to make it happen. Where is wise, all that. And then I have to remind myself that this is part of the process. What I'm doing right now, I will never have the opportunity to do it again. The things I'm going through right now, I'm never going to have the opportunity to go through it again. So why not go through it with a cheerful heart? Why not go through it being as happy as I can be?
Yes. My show last week, it's the same. Before the show, I took a week off. So there's only one show next week. And I do a show every week. And I decided, why are we in such a hurry? Why do we not take the time? And, one of the things I found with us is we have so much information at our fingertips today, just a click away, but we don't take time to read. We don't take time to absorb. We don't take time to listen. We don't take time to apply. Okay, let's skip to the end. Right? Hello. The end is going to mean nothing to you if you haven't gone through the ABCs to get there. It's those ABCs that show you, and there is no end, right? It's an end of a chapter. It's just then the beginning of another. But I think one of the problems is that we're rather oversaturated with expectations or the need to rush forward, that we're not taking the time to be still and present and absorb what's here right now.
Because a lot of our right now, we have determined, it's all perception. So we're putting some type of definition on it. And most times the definition that we're putting on it is not good.
Right.
So we're telling ourselves, this is difficult, this is hard, this is not what I expected, this is not what I wanted, this is what I thought, why is this not happening? So you have all these conditions that you're placing on the situation. So it makes it very uncomfortable. And I challenge myself a lot to change that dialogue, to tell myself that this is exactly what I need right now. This is exactly the way it's supposed to be. The good thing about it is it's not always going to be this way. Change is coming. The thing about it is if you don't change, you die. Anything that's not growing dies.
Yes.
You can look at something as simple as flowers and plants. If they do not grow, they die. So if a plant, something as a plant or a flower is not growing and dying, how much more we being the superior beings, if we're not growing, what is happening to us?
Right. We talked about your butterflies behind you before. For people who are only just listening, she has some nice wallpaper behind her full of butterflies. And, so often the metaphor of, the caterpillar into the butterfly, you can't make it become the butterfly any quicker than the process. If you do, it can be a detriment to that butterfly. It may not have its wings, or you may cause it some harm. We think because we're the superior race, which very often is questionable by our actions, definitely, that because, we're human, we don't need to go through this process. Oh no, I can flap my wings anytime. And it's like, no, you can't. There is a process for us to go through. We are a book of many chapters, right? We don't want to rush to the end because then you have an empty book. It's about each page, each word on that page, each chapter in that book. And if we look at it in a sense of wonderment and exploration and discovery, right? Even the bad times, we look at it and we can just turn back and look at it and go, my God, I don't want to go through that again. So
Yes.
how do I avoid it? I've
Yeah.
learned.
Yes.
And when those signs come up again, I know not to take that path. You don't do that unless you've gone through the process.
Mm-hmm. And for example, most of my life I've been very thin. I had no problem with gaining weight well into my 30s. I could not gain weight. And so then I had my baby son and I gained weight. And I was like,
Yes.
how is this? But when I think about it, from that point up until now, I've been struggling with losing, gaining. I weigh too much. I don't like the way I look, so forth, so on. And what I realized recently is that when I was younger, I had no eating habit. I didn't drink water, vegetables, and those things meant nothing to me because I didn't gain weight. So I just ate and ate whatever it was. I didn't actually, value the food that I was putting into my body because my body maintained a certain, figure, and I was happy with it. And so what I've been doing is, going on, going off, taking foods out, putting foods in, all these things, trying to lose some pounds. And it was just recently I realized that I wanted to get to the end, which was look like I wanted to look, and I didn't care what I had to do. And, but I realized that going through that process and learning how to eat, how to choose food, how to listen to my body, that now I feel much better. I still don't look the way I want to, but I know it's a matter of time before it all catches up, because that's what the end result will be from picking up these better habits, I should say, than what I was doing before. So like, for example, yesterday we went out with some family, and normally it would be very hard for me to not eat the food that was there. But what I did is I was like, okay, they have fish and they have salad. Let me eat that first. So I ate the fish and salad first, and then they had some rice. And I was like, oh, but I won't get a lot of rice because it was this rice dish that they make that I really like. So I took a little bit of that, and then I took a little bit of chicken, and then I was done. And then for my dinner, I just went ahead and just had a salad. Just that was it. And so and it wasn't hard. Normally it would be such a struggle, but what I realized today is that I'm learning a new way of treating myself and valuing myself and understanding how the food makes me feel and how the food helps me, how the food gives me vitamin and is nutritious to me and things like that. So that is making a really big difference. And the journey now is not so hard. Before it was very difficult,
Yeah.
It was just all I was doing was waiting till I could eat what I want to eat again.
Yeah.
But now I learned that those foods, I don't think I'll be able to eat the way I was eating before.
Well, you were in a thought of, depriving.
Yeah.
When we're in that thought of depriving, we crave more, right? The thing is, okay, you're craving chocolate, have a little.
Chocolate.
Right? Yeah. Have a little. The big word is moderation, right? Yeah. And the other thing is, love yourself whatever size you are in.
Yes.
That is so imperative. Yes. I'm a big woman, and I'm 67 now, and everything keeps growing, including the bus line, which, it's like, will you guys stop? And I've reached that stage in my life of that, who do I have to be thin for?
Sure.
If I'm happy with my own body, if I'm curvy, and all my life it's always been, if only I was thinner, they would love me. If only I was thinner, I'd be accepted. If only I was thinner, this and that.
And it's and when I was thinner, I was saying only if I was bigger, they would love me.
Yeah, that was completely the opposite.
Never.
And the thing is why are we doing this for everybody else and not for ourselves? When we learn to love ourselves, and you go, you know what, maybe a few pounds dropped or a few pounds gained would be good, okay, but don't keep sweating it, because that is that lack of self-love. When we love ourselves, then all we want to do is put good nutrition in ourselves, because 30% of what we eat goes into brain power. So the more we're feeding the brain, the more the brain will serve us, right?
Yes.
And when we want to eat better, we want to feel healthier, we
Yes.
want to do this for our body and our well-being. But I
Yes.
think the self-love has to come first.
Yes. Yeah. And it does. Yeah. And it wasn't until I reached that point that I valued myself enough.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to make the changes like I'm making them. And they're not big changes by any means. They're very small, they're very subtle, but the thing about it is I'm able to keep them. The change
Yes.
has become a part of me. So even though it's not like this rapid transformation that I would love,
Yeah.
it's a gradual transformation, very slow. And I believe the end result I will definitely love because I love me. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
again, going through the process, if you
Yeah.
suddenly dropped a great deal of weight, that's actually so bad on your body.
Yeah.
Now you're putting your body at risk by
Mhm.
the slowly changing the diet, the perception of food, the perception of yourself and loving yourself in whatever shape and body you're in. That step by step will manifest what is to be. But if
Mhm.
we go, oh, I've got to lose 20 pounds, I'm going to do it tomorrow,
Mhm.
suddenly you're in cardiac shock. It's that,
Mhm.
again, everything, we can't avoid the process, can we? We
Mhm.
cannot avoid the 1 step,
No,
2 step, 3 step.
no. And a lot of us like to, I have a lot of friends who ask me a lot, how did I get into cybersecurity?
Mm,
And then when I tell them the steps, they're like, oh, you really didn't do all that. And I'm like, I really did. And they're like,
yes,
so what did you
they
do? And
don't let you in unless you do, honey.
I'm like, I just told you that's just how it went. And I mean, yeah, that's what I had to do. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else going on, but that's what I did. I did a lot of studying. I had to take a lot of tests. I had to take jobs I didn't like. I had to, do a lot of things. But the end result is what I have now. And I do enjoy it. And I think the thing about it, the only thing that really, really helped me to push and keep going, because it was difficult, was that I wanted a better opportunity for our family.
You're right.
So that's the thing that I kept looking at. And so when I wouldn't pass the test and I had to take it again and pay more money, I would just keep thinking it's going to be better at the end. So I think that's very important when someone is trying to pursue, especially a big goal, is that you have that end goal in mind. And most times it would need to be something that's not monetary, because
Right.
monetary things you can get them, but it has to be something of value that you value, wholeheartedly,
Yes.
so that when the times get tough, you still will be able to say, yes, I'm going to try it one more time.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the point is, a lot of people, I failed. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I
If
know.
you did not try again, that could be considered failure.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
all it is a lesson learned. Okay, I didn't do it the right way. I
Mhm.
know better. Next
Mhm.
time I'm going to take a different approach.
Mhm.
Right. I know what I need to know now. And so I'm going to concentrate on studying that so that next time I pass. And I think we're all going to get knocked down over and over again in life. And part of our journey is, how do we get back up?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's very important, because I did, I was knocked down, and sometimes I would feel like, oh, I have failed. And to be honest, it wasn't until recently that I started viewing failure as a
Mm,
learning process,
yes.
as a learning opportunity, as I get to try it one more time, but differently. So I have to learn something new. But even when I was viewing it as a failure, I still was able somehow to tell myself to try it again. And I
Yes.
believe it's because I had that picture at the end that our family would be so much better if I could do this for us.
Right.
If I could create this opportunity that, no one in my family has done, I believe my children and everyone would greater benefit from that. And
It's your
so that's
why.
what kept me going. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a why. Why do we want to do it? And if your answer back comes in, well, then people will respect me, or then I'll have the fast car, or then I'll have the big house. If those are the answers back, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it because it's coming from the heart, I know it will make life better, more meaningful, will give more opportunities, then that's the right why. And it also then becomes the fuel that propels you
Yes.
forward.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. And that's the field that's always propelled me. Even when I decided to start this entrepreneurial journey, that was what it was for our family. So that, because then after I was able to achieve, a few things, I became very, like busy again with work. Because that was the first reason why I left the retail business, is because it was very time consuming. So it took me away from my family. But then when I came to a certain level,
Yes.
that became time consuming
Yes.
as well. And I was like, so what do I have to do where I get to say what time I come to work?
The
Where,
balance. Yeah.
yeah, where if I need to go pick up my daughter, I can go do it because I'm working close to home. So then I decided that I wanted to work from home. If, I needed to go to the store, I could do it. If I needed to change my plan in any way, shape, or form, I would be able to do that. And then that's when the intuition of entrepreneurship came. And up until that intuition, I had never once thought about business. And I started my business when I was about 46. It had never crossed my mind to become an entrepreneur. My husband now, he's always wants to do his own business. He does his own business. He's always thinking like that. And he used to ask me, don't you want to do your own business? I'm like, no. I like having my paycheck every 2 weeks. It's pretty secure. I know it's going to come. If I go to work, I know I'm going to get it. Yeah, I said, but so when it came, I thought it was a mistake. I was like, maybe that was for someone else. That couldn't have been for me. Because I have a lot of friends that would talk to me about it, and I would just have like no input. I'm like, I don't know. That's just not anything I want to get into. I just can't imagine doing something like that. And now here, 5 years later, that's my whole goal and dream now, is to, make this entrepreneurship grow with me as much as I can.
I love redirects. I have had many tap on the shoulder. Hey, come this way. And nah, I'm busy doing this. My focus is on that. And it's like, no, you're not meant to be doing that. There's this path, this opportunity, and I've ignored it. And then comes the cosmic 2x4, whackaroo, right? Okay, have I got your attention now? When you get up, go this way. And its resistance is futile. When the universe wants to take you down a certain path, you must go. Listen to that gut feeling, listen to your heart and soul. It will never lie to you. It will always lead you right. But our heads get in the way, right? No, I'm in charge here. Really? The universe is in charge. It will give you everything you need, should you choose to listen, should you choose to take the path. And that intuitiveness of knowing something feels right or doesn't feel right, that is our compass. That's our guidance system. It's also our security, right? Because if we don't listen, we know we're going to take a wrong path. So, when you talk about cybersecurity, our intuition is our security, right? Because it can't lie to us. It will always lead us right, but we've got to listen to it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And that's how my whole journey started, and I think right after I started, I was like, this is not for me. This is way too difficult. I don't know what I'm doing. I am not going to do this ever again. I give up. And then the thought came, you give up? You normally don't give up.
Exactly.
I was like, no, with this one, there's like no, because like when I was studying for cybersecurity, there was a lot of books I could read. There's actually set paths that you can take, that when you take them, it will lead you to that destination. You can acquire this and that and this, then you can present yourself. And yeah, it's more than likely you will be able to go into the field like you have been studying. But
when you had a map.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurialism, there's no map. Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I can't take it. I can't take it. And so for about 3 days, I was like, I'm done. I'm closing my doors. I'm turning off all these websites, and I'm just done. And then it came, try one more time. And I'll never forget that. And I said, okay, I'm going to try one more time. And I got up. And since then, I've been going.
Right. Yeah,
So
you trust that gut, you trust that soul, because
yeah.
we're never alone. If we
Mhm.
tune in, if we live from the inside out, we are never alone. The answer is always there. The
Mhm.
biggest thing is, are we asking the right questions?
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
We were so busy looking for an answer, but we're not asking the right questions to get to the answer. And I
Mhm.
think, as I said at the top of the hour, that, we get in our own way because
Mhm.
we think only from our head. We've been conditioned to do that. For the
Mhm.
last 100 years, it's been shoulders up, everything in the head, and that's the most important. And we forgot to listen to our soul, our heart, and our spirit, even
Mhm.
our body, because when our body tenses up, it's telling us something,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
if we can learn to be in tune wholly with everything, all of our senses, like an orchestra, right? We're going to play a really harmonious tune,
Mhm.
but it really does require for us to be in tune with everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It really does. And now I could understand why when I first saw that ideal of what success looked like,
Mm.
family, work, health, mental, financial, all the things, and how you were lacking in one, then, something was off.
Yes.
And I used to think, was that really true? I was like, because if I have a successful job, then I could say I'm successful. But if your family's a mess, then, are
Mhm.
you really successful? So
Mhm.
I believe that's where that came from, because if we're in sync with
Mhm.
everything and our bodies and our mind and our hearts and our thoughts, if all of that is in sync, then everything will balance out accordingly like it should be. I don't think there was anything like a perfect balance, but
Right.
things will begin to balance out as they should. Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
started
mean,
reading. Mhm.
you look at a seesaw, it's
Yeah,
not meant to be perfect. I'm a Libra, and everybody thinks all I want to do is just be in perfect balance. No, I like the flow of the up and down. What I don't want is the extremes, the
yeah,
extreme up and the extreme down. But that up and down, you look at the wind, you look at the water, you look at the oxygen in our body, everything has to be in flow. And it doesn't go in a straight linear line, it's always
yeah,
twisting and turning. I think get into the rhythm of life, right? Get into the flow of life, and then you'll know where you're going.
yeah, yeah. I started reading again the book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And I mean, I read it before, but I decided to do it again. And it really speaks to that, how
Mm-hmm.
our conscious mind is the reason, it's the things we see,
Yes.
things we taste and touch that's telling us yes or no. And then you have the subconscious mind that's just going with whatever the conscious
Mm-hmm.
is giving you. So it helped me to understand why I have to be able to, keep myself in that happy mode and
Yeah.
peaceful mode and loving mode. So then my subconscious thinks, oh, that's the way it is. And then I receive those things, because I used to try to figure out, why is it that I don't really feel that happy, because I used to think it was like a hoax, like,
Yeah.
this happiness, peace, and love. It is like that. Come on now. Yeah.
It's just a hippie thing.
And so it wasn't, yeah, no, yeah, it's the hippie thing. So it really wasn't happening the way it's happening now, because now I've really accepted that, yes, I can be happy,
Yeah.
that no, it doesn't matter the things I acquire or anything like that. I'm happy because, I woke up this morning, I have my right mind, I'm breathing, I'm walking,
Mm-hmm.
thinking, I'm talking. There's so many things to be happy for. And in turn, I get that back. And
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I
What
really,
you feed grows.
yes.
I mean, we all have a choice in life. The title of this particular show is Choose Positive Living.
Mhm.
And is that, negatives are going to happen to you,
Mhm.
but they're happening for you.
Mhm.
And if you can work out why it's happening, you can choose what you're going to do with it.
Mhm.
And it can empower you or it can deplete you.
Yeah,
But that's our choice, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the truth, that is happening for
Mm,
you. A lot of times we want to have to say it's happening to me, but it's happening for
mhm.
you. What do I get to learn from this?
Yes.
That's the question I ask myself a lot.
Mhm.
What do I get to learn from this? no, it's not everything that I want it to be. So what am I learning? What am
Mhm.
I learning through this process? And yeah.
Well, you've given birth, you know what it's like. You go through the 9 months,
Mhm,
you have puke city there for a while, and then you can sleep on a washing line, and
mhm,
you go through the backache and everything else, and then the labor,
mhm.
which can be extremely painful. But when that child is put in your arms, you forget about all of
Every-
that process. And I say to people that are in that transition in life is be your own gestation, your own 9 months, give birth to yourself.
yeah.
And now it's your canvas to paint, nobody else's. All right.
Mhm,
But we've got to be, as we talked at the top there, you've got to be willing to be uncomfortable to
mhm.
find your comfortability.
Yeah. 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 And I believe that's so true that, we have to be able to become uncomfortable with what we're doing so that we can move to the next place, the next step,
Level.
the next
Mm,
target we're
mm,
aiming from. And we have to remember that the target comes from the little things. A lot of times
yes.
we want to say, I want to do this big thing and, do or have whatever it is we're looking for, but it's actually those little things. Those little things. I was saw that, I think it was on Facebook or so. They had a picture, and it was like progress, and then they had a ladder with the steps were far apart from
Mm,
each other.
yeah. Yeah.
So the guy was even struggling to get to the first one. And then they had on the other side, they're real close to each other. And the guy was like almost to the top.
Right.
Like, can you see the difference? So
Yes.
those little steps that we're doing day in and day out, I know sometimes it may look like it's not making sense. You telling yourself you want to be happy, you doing things for self-care.
Mhm.
I remember the first time I decided to write down 100 things that make me happy. I think I got to 10 and I was like, how can I be running out of ideas?
That's scary, isn't it?
And I've never done an exercise like
Right.
that. I'm like, this is weird. And so then it became my intent to come up
Yes.
with 100 things that make me happy. So what I realized in doing that is I had to come out of these physical things and start thinking
Mhm.
about, the wind blowing on my face,
Yes.
walking in the rain boots,
Yes.
hiking in the mountains, looking at the different trees as I'm walking the dog. Those things make me happy. Those
Yeah.
things make me feel good inside. So yeah, so it is a challenge, and you always begin to question yourself, is this really working? Is this really what I'm
Yeah.
looking for? And like we were discussing before, only you know that.
Yeah.
So it's inside of you that, when that intuition, that some call it nudge, some say spirit, however you are defining it, when it gives you that prompting, what are you doing with it? Do you
Mhm.
ignore it? Or do you think about it, say, oh, what is this saying? And why is it showing up now? And why do I feel like this way? And because emotions and feelings, they're all important,
Yeah.
good emotions and bad emotions, they're all important. And it's for you to recognize, why is this coming up right now?
Yes. I
Mhm,
always say that, all of our emotions are here to reflect on how we feel or what
mhm,
is happening to make us feel like that.
mhm.
And so we can address it. It's
Yeah.
not for us to become emotional about the emotions, which we're inclined to do that, because then that's being dramatic, right? And we can get stuck in that. But it
Mhm,
also, I think, a point, Gabe, I do my own show every week. So this is what I did a little while ago about looking back.
mhm,
Sometimes we think we're not getting anywhere. But if we stop and turn around and look at how far we've come, we realize, you know what? You may look up at the ladder and see more steps. That just means more opportunities. Look down and see how far you've climbed already, how
mhm,
much you've achieved,
mhm.
who you are right now,
Yeah.
right? And look at yourself and go, sometimes, okay, what's stopping me from taking the next step? Why am I stagnant? Well,
Mhm,
sometimes just looking back and go, look at what I've overcome
mhm,
already. And
mhm.
I don't think we do that enough. We're so busy chasing something forward, we don't look back to see how we've evolved and kind of congratulate ourselves.
Adults. Mhm. I think I not too long ago heard that saying, love who you are becoming on the
Yes,
journey. A lot
yes,
of times we're consumed with getting to that destination, but what's more important is, who are you becoming?
yes.
A lot of times while we miss the mark or we're not quite there yet, it's because there's a character trait that needs to either come out or needs to go away. And so we have to realize that, because I believe that we're all here to, influence and impact people in a positive, loving way.
Yeah.
That we all have a unique gift, and we are here to share that gift with others in order to help them progress where they are going in their lives. And in order to do that, we have to evolve and become better and better at who we are. I don't want to be the same Cynthia.
Right.
Thank God I'm not the same Cynthia I was like even 10 years ago. I was very, hot-headed, and said something, I was quick to,
I know. Been there.
And when I feel that happening, because it's not like it's going to disappear. So when I feel that happening, I begin to question. So why are you feeling like that?
Right.
So what is it about this situations that's making that feeling rise up? Can you let that feeling go? Is it really that important? And most times it's not.
Right.
And so then I work through it and I let it go.
Letting it go. That's the big one.
Yeah.
Now, I know you've got 5 steps that you help people with. What are those steps?
So I help people with vision, goal setting. Once you have been able to set the goals, taking action upon those goals, time management, and intuition. What I help people with.
All of those are extremely significant, and they can actually come in any which order, can't they?
Yes.
But if we don't have a dream, then what are we aspiring to? But it's also understanding whatever that dream is in a perception of who we are today may manifest itself differently as we take that journey and become something different to us. And it's not like, well, that's not the dream I dreamt. No, it's the dream. The other dream was just open the door to get you out of the door. That dream that you're heading towards now and you're seeing it different is the one that's really here to serve you.
Yeah. And that's life. That's evolving. We're not meant to say this thing. That's why I encourage, when I work with different women, I encourage them that we should review that vision, that dream yearly, because through the course of a year, some things might change. You might start feeling differently about some things. I believe the overall goal will still be the same, but maybe some of the ways of getting there or some of the things you want to happen might change because you're changing. So it's almost like a living document.
Right, exactly. Your own book again, right? Your own book again. And it's like, I think one of the big things is know your why. And if you don't know your why, discover your why. But also know that it has to be you, the inside you, not the outside perception of you, the inside you that takes this journey. Right? You can't be doing, well, I want to do this because then I'll be popular, or then I'll be rich, or then I'll be this and that, because you've been there, you've done it. That you get there and you go, heck, I worked damn hard for this. Why am I still miserable? Right? If you're deciding, I'm only going to do things. Yes, there are things that I don't want to do. Like, we both podcasters, right? We'll talk about that in a moment. But I've got all the editing to do with it. I have to render the video. I have to do all the audios. I do the blog and do all of that. That can be at least 2 hours each show of admin stuff. Is it my most favorite thing? No, because I enjoy this part a hell of a lot more. But in order to enjoy this part and share it out with everyone else, I've got to do the other. So instead of looking at the other and going, oh, drudgery, going out, oh, this is allowing that to go out. And I think it's change our perception on the steps that sometimes we have to take that we wish somebody else was doing, because we're looking at what it is sending out there, right? And change our focus on things, because then we can really be happy about what we're doing, because we know that why we're doing it and who's going to benefit from us is worth every step.
That's why perception is so important.
Huge.
How you are perceiving what you're doing, where you're going, who are you going with? Because if you're not perceiving it with the utmost positivity, respect, and love you can, it's going to be a tremendous journey. It
And
will.
not in a tremendous way.
Ah, yeah, I
Tumultuous,
think I live
perhaps.
as a tremendous.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to the stage in my life that give me the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
I like going up, seeing things from a height, perception, going down. And as I'm at the bottom, you're looking at all the kids and people anticipating getting on and what they're going to see. I do not want the roller coaster. Thank you very much. I
Mhm.
don't need my stomach up here and down there. And I don't need things to be a fast and come out feeling shattered. And when we're younger, we kind of like the adrenaline, and it's okay to explore
Yeah.
that adrenaline.
Yeah.
But at some point, the only way you're going to get anywhere is when you slow down. Take it
And
in.
that's when I started my meditation practice,
Mm,
because
mhm,
I can be a very busy person.
mhm. Yeah, to
Like my
prioritize,
husband has
right?
asked me a question. He's like, "You look so busy." I'm like, I am just so busy."
Yes.
So
Busy doing what, though? That's the question, right? Busy being busy.
I can make myself very busy, but I learned that in all that busyness, I'm not being productive. I'm not, sometimes I'm not even happy being in all that busyness.
Yes.
But when I take time out and, quiet my mind, listen to my breath, and
Mhm.
receive whatever God is trying to tell
Yes.
me, makes my day, my nights, and everything flows so much
Yeah.
better.
And
Yeah,
isn't that like a lovely deep breath?
yeah,
It's like you could really feel your lungs getting the breath because you really do feel you're in
yeah,
sync.
yeah, yeah. And I had to learn with that too, because I kept getting on myself. Because when I first started the practice, I was, you know, taking that time to learn to do it the way I wanted to do it,
Mhm.
uh, to sit down and do it. And then as time went, I found myself not being able to make the time. And then I was like, so Cynthia, you can change the practice. You don't
Yes.
have to, you
Yes.
don't have to set a schedule that you can't even meet. So now, like, like before I come on a podcast recording or something like that, I'll take that time and I'll have my breath. Or if
Mhm.
I feel myself like I said, I like to be busy. So that likes to rise up a lot for me to get busy. And when I get busy, I get this feeling. And so when I recognize the feeling, I said, oh, okay, so take your breaths,
Yeah.
calm down, bring everything back down. You don't have to be that busy.
Yeah.
Everything you're doing, you're going to be able to meet these obligations. You're going to be able to do it. It's not like nothing is not going to get done. So
Yeah.
don't even think like that. And so now that has become my meditation. I
Mhm.
believe in the future it will change again. Then maybe I will go back to doing it the 10-20 minutes where I just sit silently and things like that. So that's what I've been teaching myself, that there's really no right or wrong
No.
way.
No.
It's how you are able to do it. Like we're saying, like, what is my intuition telling me? How is it telling me I should do it? That's the flow I
That's
should
the flow.
do.
Exactly. I had a wonderful monk, Michel Pascal, on, and he takes people into Times Square to meditate amongst the chaos. And he said, you've got to become the mountain amongst the chaos. Because yes, we can find peace in our silence, but how about finding peace in the noise? Right?
Mhm,
Because there are times that the chaos is all around us. How do we center ourselves and become that deep breath of clarity?
mhm,
Otherwise, we get caught up in the chaos.
mhm, mhm. And I remember it worked perfectly. I wanted to buy this car. And then when I saw the price tag, I was like, maybe I don't want to do it. Maybe I'm going to change my mind. And then I just found myself going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, calm down,
Yeah.
take a breath, and listen to what you want to do.
Mhm.
Maybe you can make a decision. There is no right or wrong
Yeah.
decision. If spirit is telling me yes, take the car, take the car. Spirit is telling me no, don't take the car, don't take the car, but sit for a minute and listen. And so I took my breaths, I listened, and I was able to make the decision. And then once I made the decision, I didn't feel any type of way about it, because
Right,
before I could
exactly.
feel like all this stuff was coming up, and I was
Well,
gonna.
it's the head fighting with itself, right? Yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. And there's the only one thing you do with your butt, sit on it. Because this is where we can be our most worst enemy. We get stuck in the head. with all the yes, yes, but what it did, and then we're not including the heart, soul, and spirit to be in the equation. And then we get stuck there, we get panicked.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
So you take people through those 5 steps. What, how long is your program? How do you do it?
So my program is a one-to-one coaching. I'm hoping to launch a group coaching this coming summer, but for now it's one-to-one. And so we meet via Zoom and we go through. I have worksheets and things like that I give you beforehand so I can get a feel of what you're wanting to accomplish, how you want to build this big, beautiful life that you so desire. And so that's how we begin to work together. So it is a lot of accountability. There is a lot of goal setting, and there is a lot of dreaming. We have to dream. We have to be able to bring that vision to life. And I believe once we bring it to life, you will be very, very, very happy with the life you're creating, because whether you believe it or not, we create the life that we have.
We certainly do. And if we don't have the dream, then we don't know what to put in place. Right? We're just flapping in the wind. So having that kind of dream with that heart, always listen to your heart. Your heart will always guide you. When that heart is so ignited and that dream means so much, well, now you know your why. So how are you going to accomplish it? There's no putting how before the why.
Right? And I really break it down for people. So we do have, like you're saying, the big why, and then so that's going to create a big goal for you. But we break that goal down because everything can be broken down into manageable, bite-sized steps.
Those are the big things.
That's what we're going to take it and we're going to bring it down so that you're able to daily keep this dream, vision, hope alive by taking steps towards it. Because it's not the big things. Like when I started my podcast, I was like, oh, and like next week I should be like on all these top shows, Jay Shetty and all these people. They will be loving me, but it doesn't work like that.
No. Been doing it 10 years, darling. No, it doesn't.
It's a process that I have to go through. So what I did is I begin to set up a lot of processes. I begin to really work at how I want my guests to feel, how I want people to feel when I come on their show as a guest, how I can connect with people, how I can, network with different people. So now I'm beginning to create all these steps and tools that I work with to help my show grow, because I believe that as I grow, then the show will grow as well.
Exactly. And, having done this for 10 years, which, for me now is full time, it is an honor, to bring people on like yourself who've taken your journey. And now in your wonderful redirection, you're out there helping other people in their own self-discovery of who they are, why they are, and what they're here to do, and to step into it. This is the reason behind what I do. It's not for me to know the answers. It's for me to bring you the answers. It's for you to take the time to listen and reach out to the people that can help you. So it's a big, huge directory here for me. But that is the thing we learn best from those that have gone before us, that have taken the journey, who have developed the skills and the tools. They're the best teachers because they know what skills and tools are needed, right? How we apply them and what we do with them, that onus is on us. How are we going to show up? How are we going to participate? But the knowledge is there, and it's in listening to the podcast and then reaching out to the people and go, I want to know more. So if people want to reach out to you and want to know more, you do a few minute get to know each other to see if there's the right synergy?
Oh, yes. So I do a complimentary 45-minute strategy call. And that's where we go through and see if we are a good fit to work together and how I can best support you if I'm able to support you. And I know a lot of people. So if I'm not able to support you, I'm sure I'll have a recommendation I can support you as well, because my goal is to help you create what you want. I know that when I was, especially, I remember in my cybersecurity, when I started there, and it is male dominant, so maybe that's why I was getting some of the lack of interaction, to be fair. And that was the one thing I used to dream about, is if I could find one person to talk to to tell me how this cybersecurity profession is going to work. Because I was all into the books. I was taking the books. I
Right.
did a double master's in cybersecurity. So I was studying very
Yeah.
hard cybersecurity, but it didn't tell me what I was going to do day to day at the job.
Right.
It didn't tell me like what programs or softwares I would be using. And that was the one thing that I longed for. So in creating my business, I know that's something that people long for, is to have someone there to help them, show them willingly and happily, this is some of the things you can expect. Yes, your journey will be different, but these are some of the things you can expect along the way.
Right. Because then when it hits us, it doesn't wackaroo us. You know, it's like, okay, I was prepared for this, right? Or I know what to do with this, because basically you're giving them skills and tools to put in their backpack on their journey of life. And then when they reach that, pivotal moment, I've got something in my backpack for that, right? And that's preparedness.
That reminds me of that show. My son used to watch a lot of Dora the Explorer. That's her backpack. She would call her handy dandy backpack.
Right. Yes.
Stuff out.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that this database up in our noggin is a database. It's knowledge. And sometimes we can be over-knowledged. But when we choose to listen to the intuition of our wisdom, it knows what to extract from the mind and what we need to know when we need to know it. And that's getting out of our own way. That knowledge is always there. But when you come across something and that wisdom is there because it triggers something. I know what I need to do, right? I know what I need to extract, right? Cynthia told me about this and that. I need to extract that, and this is where I need to apply it. But that database it's just there waiting to come forth. It doesn't mean everything has to come forth at once. It's waiting its turn, right? But it's there in the backpack.
Yeah, that is so true. Waiting for you to utilize it. That's I read this other book, Outliners, and one story that stuck out to me was this little boy. And the whole story that this author was trying to prove is that, can you be ordinary and have support and become extraordinary?
I think, yes.
Are you born extraordinary?
Yes.
Without support, ordinary. So the one story that stuck out is this little boy. When he was like a year, he could talk and read, and by like 4 and 5, he was reading dictionaries and thesaurus and things like that. And by the time he reached high school, one of the teachers had came to his house. The family was poor, and she was like, well, your son, he's been missing school. We're trying to figure out what's going on. And the dad was like, oh no, he has work he has to do in the morning. He can't be, wasting all this time at school. And so the counselor really took to him. So she, or he, I can't remember if she, the counselor gave him information, and he was able to get into college.
Yes.
And so he went the first semester, and then he wanted the financial aid, but he couldn't get it because his parents wouldn't send him the information they needed to send. And so he stopped college, and so it went on, and so he was like in his 50s, and the author had caught back up to him, and it said that he was still trying to write a book. He still was very smart in a way, but he just didn't know how to utilize it. So he was like trying to write a book. He lived like in some trailer. His life really never came to anything
because he was held back instead of held forward. Yeah.
And so that made me realize how important support is.
Oh God, I have a forgotten children.
Not extraordinary, and with the support, you can become extra.
Yes. Well, I interview ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things. And that's the thing. We're all ordinary people where we start up, but we can discover our extraordinariness, through the actions that we do. And I have another series called the Forgotten Children series, which is going to be a book this year, contributing chapters from various people, because we are letting our children down. And if we listen to our children and see the gift that we are and water and nurture their beautiful roots, they will grow to be what they're meant to be, instead of the dictation and the holding back that is currently happening and has been happening for way too long. But yeah, it's so sad to see that, of the potential of what that person could have been if only they had been fed, fed properly. And that's the sadness that we see in today. We don't want, and there's so many people, in the 40s or 50s that, especially mums that have just raised kids and that, well, I'm just a housewife. Well, let's look at you as just a housewife. You've managed the books, you're head cook and chef,
Mhm.
you're retailer, you're
Oprah,
this, you're counselor, you're sex goddess,
doctor.
you're everything, right? So you take all of those skills and you channel it into a desire, and you learn whatever it is you need to learn to do to really hone those skills in. Never sell yourself short,
Mhm.
because life experience prepares us for so much.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. And I believe sometimes the reason why we have disappointments and things like that with our children is because of the expectation we
Yeah.
place on them. So I can clearly remember when my son was born, I had so many expectations for him. I wanted him to do so many things. And most of the things were things I were not able to do.
Right, exactly.
Not even knowing if he's going to want to do it or not, but I'm like, it will
Exactly.
be good for him.
Yeah.
And so my son, he was very compliant. So he was able to, you know, withstand us till about 12 or 13. And then that's when he started, really wanted to become his own self and
Yeah.
voice
His
his
own
own.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was hard for us. And then I thought to myself, Cynthia, you have to let him be his own person.
Yes.
You can't stop him from making mistakes, even though I would love to.
Oh God, no, but I have
He,
3 of them, darling. You can't.
he's going to make the choices himself. And at the end of the day, we have supported with him. We have loved him. We have given him everything that he needs. He will be able to make wonderful choices. And
Yes.
that's what I trust now more than anything.
Right.
And with our daughter, she was quite opposite. So from the beginning, it was like, because she was through IVF, full IVF for about 8 years. We had another baby, especially a girl. So when I found out I was pregnant with the girl, of course, all the expectations
Yeah.
out onto that little fetus.
Yes. The whole
And she,
dream thing of what this child is going to be. Yes.
and she came out like, nope, 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 nope,
Yeah.
nope. So then,
Mama.
so then again, I get to practice, let her be who she is.
Right.
Yeah.
I have 3 of them in uh, going to be 34, 38 and 40 this year. And believe me, a lot of my gray hairs have their name on it. But whatever mistakes they made and whatever journeys they took, they remembered how much I loved them, how much I was there for them, and who they are as human beings. And whatever choices they made, that always brought them back home to themselves. So yes, they're going to make mistakes. And all we can do is say, you're an idiot, but I love you. And I'm here to help you through it, right? Because they don't need any more persecution. They'll be persecuting themselves. So it's just being there to let them know. There's another movie I highly recommend, by the way, on Netflix, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. And it's about, I think it's Ethiopia, I can't remember, or Kenya, a drought. And there's no water, so no being able to grow anything, a corrupt government, people starving. This boy wanted to go to school, but no money to go to school. So the librarian let him go in and get books. And just what he did and who he became and what he is today because of it is such an inspirational story, and one great for you to watch as a family. So The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. Because
Husband and son watched it. I didn't watch it. That name sounds so familiar. I'm going to check it
yeah,
out.
no, it's one of those things, is that if there is a will, you find a way. And I think it's not only great for kids to see that, but for any of us on our own journey. If we really truly believe in something and we really want to do it, we'll find a way. Don't let anybody or anything stop you. And you may have to go through a maze of molasses to get there, but
Yeah.
if you believe it, you will get there.
There. Oh, great. Yeah, I definitely will check it out. Yeah.
A good movie. So your podcasts, how do people get hold of them and listen to them? What kind of people do you have on?
I have a lot of guests. At first, I was just having guests on. I was like, I'll just see where it goes. I'm just going to invite people and see what happens. And just by the way things work,
Yeah.
most of the people were talking about intuition. And so then I was like, oh, okay, so I guess I could count my first kind of section as intuition. But now I said I'm going to deliberately create sections. So I just started a segment on health. And this the way things go. Mostly, I would say it was, I have a 6 or 7 guests that's going to speak about health. And they are all talking about how you have to listen to your body. I said, it's so funny how things work
Yes.
out.
Yes.
And so then the next segment I'm having after that is called Living Your Best Life. So yeah, so those are the 2 upcoming segments. And the show is called Ignite the Desire. And we're on whatever platform you're listening to. So you can easily find us if you just type in Ignite the Desire with Cynthia. I will pop up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'd love it like yourself. I wasn't sure. I was scared because, you know, if something, I was like, why do I keep getting this thing about a podcast? What is it? Because I listened to a lot of podcasts and I was like, maybe because I listen to them all the time. But I was like, well, but that wouldn't make you want to start one. And so, but it kept coming and coming. So it took me about 2 years of prompting before I actually started my podcast. And ever since I started, I've been in love. So I love having the guests on. I love learning about different people. And I love being able to share information that I believe will help you get to the next step that you're going in your journey. Because we all are on a journey. This is not about a destination. It's not about reaching an end point. The only end point we reach is when we stop taking that last breath.
Right, and that's only the body, because the spirit goes on.
So with that one, so that's what the show is about, just helping you go through the journey while you're here in this phase, because like you said, we go on, but as we're here in this phase, just helping you go through, because like I said, when I was talking about doing the cybersecurity, and I just wanted someone to talk to. Now I pray and I believe I am that voice that can help you when you say, I need to know how to do this, I need to know how to do that. So we have a variety of people. They speak about business, they speak about intuition and how business and intuition work, how health and intuition work, how everything works.
Intuition works in everything, folks. Absolutely everything. Yes. Yeah, and people think, well, how do intuition and business work? And I have a whole business channel. I promise you, when it comes from the heart and the soul, it leads your business in the right direction, most certainly. So yeah, it's I think the fundamental, as far as I'm concerned, it's the root of everything. So okay, we know how to get hold of your podcast, but how do people get hold of you and to book that 45 minutes with you of discovery?
Yes, I'm right it's hello at Royalty Mindset Coach. So it's just hello at Royalty Mindset Coach. You can reach me there. Also on my website, which is Royalty Mindset Coach as well. There's a button you can click and it will take you directly to scheduling with me.
Excellent. You know, the first step, as I said, the first leap is taking the first step, deciding that you don't want to be where you are anymore, and that you want to take that journey of self-discovery to find out who you are, why you are, and what you really want out of life. And that, I think, is the biggest leap that we ever take in life. But it is the willingness to take the steps. And there is no right or wrong you. There is right and wrong for you. Right, but that discovery of who you really are, you know, one is stop selling yourself short, stop living by somebody else's expectation, make the discovery of truly the essence of who you are. What is your dream? What are you here to do? What is your service to contribute with? Because when we discover all of that, we really do step into our awesomeness, which is also our flawsomeness.
Yes, I agree completely. I believe that's just the way that it is. That's the way it's been designed. And if, you know, this show or another show or someone you know can help you along that journey, do not be afraid to reach out. I just posted the other day on my Facebook. It said, you know, Facebook brings back memories you did.
Oh yes, I love them. Yeah.
13 years ago. I was like, wow. And it said, I had posted that when you hear the voice in your head that tells you, don't paint, by all means, just paint.
Yes.
And so when I read it, I was like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, it still speaks volume to me.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
I would like to believe everyone is, whatever that voice is in your head telling you not to do, by all means, just do it.
Yeah.
And you will arrive to the exact place you have been desiring. And a lot of times people say, oh, the message is so vague. How can you just say the place that, because everyone is desiring something different.
Yeah.
What I desire is not what you're desiring, Sarah. What you're desiring is not what I'm desiring.
Yeah.
So everyone has this unique gift inside of them that is waiting to come out and to be shared with others.
It certainly is. And royaltymindsetcoach.com. You can sign up there to have a 45-minute talk with her, look at all the programs that she's got to offer you. Ignite the Desire podcast, which you'll find on all the major platforms. She's on LinkedIn, Cynthia Jones, Instagram, Royalty Mindset Coaching, Facebook, Royalty Mindset Coaching. Reach out to her, have a conversation, because it all starts with you deciding to investigate. And, you know, if you've heard this show today and Cynthia has spoken to you, you feel a synergy, take it to the next step, which is setting up a call and having that talk. And you'll know whether you're the right person or not. And if she isn't, then she'll put you in the right direction. But maybe if it's just that discovery for yourself is this the right time for me? And you just need somebody else to see you from a different angle, for you to see yourself. So that's really important. Yeah. Thank you so much here, Cynthia, for sharing today.
Thank you. Thank you as well.
And all the journey that you've taken from where you were cashier, cyber thingy-majiggy, and now this, etc. It just shows that we're not just one instrument. We can be many instruments, but when we play from the heart, that's when it's truly meaningful, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So everyone out there, remember, your first leap is the first step. Don't sell yourself short. Start making that discovery, because we as a human race need you to be as awesome as you can be. Until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. Please tune in to our selfdiscoverymedia.com/shows, and you will see all the other genres that we have from you. Every week on Tuesday, we bring you new shows from illuminating people. If you know someone that should be interviewed, please contact us at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com. Now stay tuned for your next show.